History, a premier and paramount priority for progress of a people, arguably the single most important cultural property. It is the great unifier of all societies, from classical to contemporary. It is the shining beacon that restores vision to the blind. It is imperative that we create a unified effort to learn from it, that we may emulate its successes and prevent repeating its mistakes. For without history, we are without purpose. We are without identity. Welcome to the gray area, where we examine history in hindsight. January 27, 1606, the trial of Guy Fawkes and his fellow conspirators began. 1870, Kappa Alpha Theta, the first female sorority, was founded at Indiana's Asbury University, now known as DePaul University. 1880, Thomas Edison patented the electric incandescent lamp. 1888, the National Geographic Society was founded in Washington, D.C. 1900, in China, foreign diplomats in Peking, fearing a revolt, demanded that the imperial government discipline the Boxer rebels. 1926, John Baird, a Scottish inventor, demonstrated a pictorial transmission machine. It would come to be called the television. 1927, United Independent Broadcasters Incorporated started a radio network with contracts with 16 stations. The company would later become known as Columbia Broadcasting System. You know it as CBS. 1948, Wire Recording Corporation of America announced the first magnetic tape recorder. The Wireway machine with the built-in oscillator sold for $149.50. 1951, in the U.S., atomic testing in the Nevada desert began as an Air Force plane dropped a 1-kiloton bomb on Frenchman Flats. 1967, more than 60 nations signed the Outer Space Treaty, which banned the orbiting of nuclear weapons and placing weapons on celestial bodies or space stations. 1977, the Vatican reaffirms the Roman Catholic Church's ban on female priests. 1984, Carl Lewis beats his own record of just 2 years prior by an entire 9¼ inches when he set a new indoor world record with the long jump mark of 28 feet and 10¼ inches. 2002, a series of explosions occurred at a military dump in Lagos, Nigeria. More than 1,000 people were killed in the blast in an attempt to escape. 2003, Altria Group Incorporated became the name of the parent company of Kraft Foods, Philip Morris USA, Philip Morris International, and Philip Morris Capital Corporation. In 2010, Steve Jobs unveils the Apple iPad. But rewinding all the way back to 1812, Captain John Perkins, nicknamed Captain Punch, was the first black commissioned officer in the Royal Navy. His date of birth and origins are still unknown, but Perkins first appeared in Navy records in 1775 when he joined as a ship's pilot aboard HMS Antelope, the flagship of the Jamaican station. In 1778, he was put in command of the Punch schooner, and in 1778 through 1779, it had captured more than 300 enemy vessels under his leadership. He then commanded the schooner Endeavor and was promoted to commander by Admiral George Rodney, the commander-in-chief at Jamaica. The promotion was disallowed, and in 1783, at the end of the American War of Independence, Perkins left the Navy and remained in reserve as a half-pay lieutenant, a practice that was common at the time. What he did between 1783 and 1790 is suspected that he would train others in how to sail boats all throughout the West Indies. In 1790, Perkins volunteered for naval duty once more again under Admiral Philip Affleck and undertook several clandestine missions to Cuba and French-controlled Saint-Domingue, modern-day Haiti. In 1793, he was captured at Jeremy in Cap Francois and was condemned to death for spying and supplying weapons to rebel slaves. Captain Thomas Russell and Captain William Noel heard of his imprisonment and rescue. In 1804, John Perkins was in command of the 32-gun HMS Tartar when he attacked and fought the 74-gun De Quince and two other 16-gun vessels, compromising a French naval squadron that was more than 3 times larger than his own. He kept the warships engaged long enough for help to arrive, at which point the French surrendered. In 1804, following his final mission to the newly independent Haiti, Perkins resigned his commission, and he would train Haitian sailors at navigating the oceans and advise on ship design to the newly independent country of Haiti. He would stay there for a while until he would eventually return home to Jamaica, where he would die on this day, January 27th, 1812. You see, history, much like time, waits for no man. It is ultimately up to us to decide whether we choose to make it or be the reason we repeat it. However, no matter what side of it that you stand on, you can only learn from it by looking at history in hindsight.